Hey, good morning. Ooh, now, this is totally an unexpected TikTok live, what I like to call a pop-up. And it's just, I will share with you. Oops, there we go. This is so funny. Um, I would say true disclaimer. There's nothing to disclaim. But here's a funny thing. Uh, I am looking for the little thing to put my phone in so I can set it in front of me so I can do this TikTok live. And I have a big hotel room. I got upgraded, which is kind of ooh, look at me, I got upgraded. But I don't know where I put my bag with my like cords and stuff in it. I know, kind of decluttering. I know it's around here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So at the moment, I have my phone leaned up against a gold plated, like a shiny gold ice bucket. I'm in Vegas, so shiny gold ice bucket is not to be, not unexpected, but it's on this like bar card. Oh, this is funny. I thought when these were upside down, they were crystal. They're fancy plastic. There's that, but it's on a bar cart that literally is on wheels. So I'm like, ooh, look, I can like wheel you around the room and this. Isn't this kind of silly? Anyhow, good morning. I am an East Coast girl on West Coast time. So I've been awake for about, I don't know, half an hour scrolling on TikTok myself. And then I said, you know what? I said, I could go on TikTok because it's like for my East Coast peeps and for my own East Coast brain, like it's 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's not like I'm showing up at 5 o'clock. This is when I travel, that the time difference actually works to my advantage to do the TikToks. It doesn't work so well when I coach. I typically don't coach when I travel because when I go to different time zones, I I'd have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But anyhow, this morning I'm here for you. I just felt like showing up. I'm traveling without my husband. He's at home working on his record. And this was more for me. This is kind of a work thing. I'm in Las Vegas. I was here. I arrived late on Monday. And I leave. Today's already Wednesday. And I leave tomorrow. And I'm here for some awesome kind of coaching, marketing, connection, inspiration, all that good stuff. So I love that I'm here, but I also am like, well, what could I do that was fun while I'm here? I have no interest really in a lot. First of all, you guys, it's like 100. Yesterday it was 106 degrees here. Now I spent most of my time in a theater, taking notes and listening, and it was air conditioned. And it's so funny because I have layers that I'm putting on because it is so chilly. Yeah. So it is chilly in the insides, but it's wicked hot on the outsides. Kind of like me. I'm chilly on the inside and wicked hot on the outside, huh? Anyhow, I just figured I would show up and do a TikTok live. Those of you who know me, my name is Beth. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered because I find it helps me just remind myself of that kind of road trip inspo to help you get to where you want to go. And I do one-on-one coaching primarily, but I also do these TikTok lives. And I've got a free email mailing list you can sign up for, all that kind of good stuff. But anyhow, Christina, hey, nice to see you. One of the things you may notice, here's a fun thing. If you guys have kind of been with me for a while, I don't want to say followed me, like that implies, I can lead you someplace, but I want us to kind of hang out together. Like that implies, I can lead you someplace, but I want us to kind of hang out together. Is you will notice that one of the things I did yesterday is I changed the kind of the logo on my TikTok page. And one of the reasons I did that to just kind of a random current picture of my face. It literally is like a screenshot of me before I was doing a TikTok live on our patio when it wasn't so crazily hot out, is kind of getting to know you as a person, getting to know your face, and you getting to know me as a person and a face, because I'm a person on the planet just like you are. I realized kind of, and this is part of what I'm learning here, is, my logo is just some words. Like, it's like, it's kind of, I was hiding behind it a little bit. Because really, it's just me. It is. It's me, a human on the planet, wanting to help other humans on the planet with what they struggle with. But I will say this, I have my things that I'm good at, and the things that I'm not so good at. Like, I don't know what to do about like romance and like all sorts of things like that, like but I love helping you with your clutter. I truly delight in helping you figure out what to do with your stuff, because helping you learn how to figure out how to do things helps your relationships, helps your career, helps how you spend your money. When you learn how to make decisions that resonate with your heart, and now I'm learning more even this week, your gut, kind of, I talk about your head. This is funny. I was thinking about my coaching. I was thinking about you guys. When I do this here, I'm just going to make sure that that's not sliding, since it is propped up on a an ice bucket on a bar cart here in Vegas. But DIY, very punk rock. Use what you have. Helping you learn how to make decisions, basically. Helping you learn how to even just kind of calm down your nervous system. I talk about, when you're all, you're not making the best decisions. So then we take some time. Whoa, speaking of down, here, let me see if this will impact you, Andy. This is so fun. I've got this goofy little, okay, there we go. I've propped it up. So I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you with what you're struggling with clutter-wise, and it will probably help you otherwise. So what do you have for me? I'm sitting here. Put something in the comments. What is a clutter thing that's kind of okay, I talked about destination decluttered because I use the road trip metaphor. You're the driver. What's a roadblock? What is something clutter-wise that's stopping you from moving forward, that you're stuck in the road because there's like a sawhorse, a roadblock? Let's get outside of the car and examine it, and maybe just kind of dismantle it so we can move it to the side. So what's a decluttering roadblock you have? Now, while you think, I don't want to put you on the spot, and you don't have to answer, but I'm just going to have a little sip of my H2O. Work. Elizabeth, okay. Tell me more, did he get very far? Tell me more. Okay. Soaring Butterflies has got doom piles of paperwork and mail. For those of you who don't know what a doom pile is, I didn't know it until I started getting into more ADHD. Doom is an acronym. Didn't organize, only moved. Okay? Now you know. Because knowledge is power. Okay, all right, here we go. All right. Okay, we got a few good things here. So work, doom piles of paperwork and mail. See, here's the thing I love, Soaring Butterfly. I grew up, seriously, I didn't even know what a doom pile was. I didn't know the acronym. But boy, did I know where they were, because I grew up in a family of doom piles, doom bags, doom trays, doom... I picked up a box from BJ's. Is BJ's or Costco? A good box. Ooh, this is a good box. And I brought it home, and then I piled all my paperwork in it, and then I shoved it somewhere and never looked at it again. That's the home I grew up in. Both of my parents would save paper and not deal with it. I recently went to my folks' house. My dad's passed, but I went to my folks' house, and I was up in the attic. I went early in the spring, so it wasn't crazy hot. I found bags of opened mail, but still bags of mail from like literally 1972 and 73 and 74. So yeah, I know what that's like, but now I love going through the mail. I keep it so simple. So Soaring Butterfly, I want to help you with this. Renee is saying clutter in the bedroom. Clutter in the bedroom. I'm like, mirror in the bathroom? Anybody? Don't know where to start because there's nowhere to put anything. Renee, I have an idea for you too. Okay, tired after work, having energy, an eviction notice, panicking. Okay, so all right, so we've got some things I'm going to riff on right now and help the folks. And when I help these folks with this stuff, just listen for it and see what you can pull out that might help you, even if you have put in some messages and I haven't seen it. So first of all, let's even start with the basics. I always want you to start with you and how you feel. Notice feeling tired after work, feeling panicky, feeling overwhelmed typically is a feeling. It's a feeling in your body. So even just noticing or recognizing that feeling before you do anything else, before I tell you about strategies and like surfaces and stored, let's talk about slowing down and just noticing that that's just a feeling. Not just a feeling, that is a feeling. I don't want to minimize it. But you can do something to help you feel differently. And as I like to say, when I feel better, I do better. So maybe you notice where the feeling is. If you're panicky, I don't know, for me, I tend to feel like a shallow breath. And, kind of like a tightness in my gut. So if I feel that way and I'm feeling panicky, what can I do to change it? I like to just think of the opposite, the flip side. So, okay, my shoulders like this. Unshrugging my shoulders. Boy, did I just hear a bunch of crackles. If I'm short of breath, I want to take a long breath. If I'm hyperventilating, I want to slow down my breath. Slow down. I want to breathe down. I want to breathe down so long that I feel like my breath is going down to the bottom of my feet. I want to slow down my breath, even just, in with the out, in with the good air, and then exhale twice as long. Seriously, this is what I'm learning in my training here. I'm paying people, and this so works. It's calming down your nervous system, giving your human body some more oxygen so it can get out of fight or flight. Even noticing my hands, look what I'm doing. I'm kind of doing this nice kind of petting motion. I'm doing it with both too, because you've got kind of two sides of you. It's almost like calming down, petting down, slowing down, quieting down, going to a place, even if it's putting earplugs in and quieting down things. So taking care of your inner self first. Now that's a lot of kind of your energetic, soul, your nervous system, your gut. Maybe it's drinking some water. Okay? It can be even, Elizabeth being tired, literally getting some more sleep. Now, not sleeping to avoid it, but getting some sleep and some rest so that when you wake up, you have energy to do the decluttering. So regardless of what your clutter situation is, regardless of any situation you have, this is where it gets to be like, see, we're talking about clutter, but we have a bigger level, is feeling better inside your skin. What can I do? If I'm not feeling so good, I just took an Excedrin because I typically get migraines or headaches. And I know a lot of what I can do is get some sleep, drink some water, but also I know that I live in a world where I have access to something that's going to help me feel better. And when I feel better, I do better. If I get a migraine, this happened to me once. In all the years, I've been doing TikTok lives for about a year. In all the year that I've been doing this, and there are over 200 of them recorded on my YouTube channel, there was one day where I started doing a TikTok live and I was like, you guys, I don't feel good. I'm going to sign off early and go back to bed. Now, that's not me right now, but notice when you don't feel well, you don't do well. So now you have some tools. Here's a toolkit. Put this in your toolkit. You got a cute little toolkit? Put this in there. Is checking out how you feel and slowing down, breathing down, calming down, doing the things to make you feel better. I put on a layer because I get distracted when my arms are cold. I don't pay attention as much, okay? So everybody, work on this first. And then the other thing too is, and this is what I like to call, this is how I call it. So you can even write this down. Writing this down will make sure that you have this tool in your toolkit long after I'm doing this TikTok live. Is I like to call this, because I tend to, the word, I like to use shortcuts. So a lot of times people say I feel overwhelmed. Now I love playing with words, even though I was not an English major. I was an art major. Same diff. Overwhelm. The word over is like it's over your head. You're overwhelmed. You're looking up. You're like, all this stuff. I get overwhelmed. Frankly, you guys, I am in Vegas and I get overwhelmed by the amount of people. Too many people, too much. I get overwhelmed by how tall some of these freaking buildings are. Now, the funny thing is I'm north of the Strip. I consciously am staying in a smaller hotel north of the Strip that's more human scaled. I get overwhelmed by when things are too big, so I know what to do. What do? I chunk it down. And I want you to think of all these ways I'm saying down that can help you, because this is me writing my book and you're just writing it down for me. So you have my book already. I call it all the downs. So slowing down, calming down, quieting down, breathing down, hands go down, settling down, calming down, even counting down. That was the new one I was thinking of. 10, 9, 8, slowing down, the calm, the breathing, the down of the eyes closing, everything. Instead of being like this, you're like this. And when you feel better, you're going to do better. Okay? So user at 5'8", who's going to be evicted in 8:30, is panicking. When you get out of the panic, that's when you're going to be able to do something that you're going to feel better about. Okay, so one of the things I want to say for you, and clutter is everywhere, says Renee, in doom piles, is I want you to think of two things. I want you to think of chunking it down. Another down. This is how it goes. Chunking it down. What does that look like? What does that mean? It means taking a big thing and making it into smaller chunks. You know? How did I get here? I'm a Gen Xer, what can I say? I love my musical brain, and it shows up all the time, and you know that. Chunking it down. One of the great ways to chunk things down is to put like items together. This is something I learned when I used one of my varied careers at as I mentioned, I was an art history major. So when I get out of school, there weren't a hell of a lot of well-paying jobs out there. So I worked retail, and I worked retail for decades. But the great thing is I learned some wonderful things along the way that I can share with you. So when I was at Pier 1, when we would do visual merchandising, like items together. Votive candles over there, Papasan chairs over there, Wicca baskets over there. Notice this with your paperwork. Notice this with the clutter in your bedroom. Chunk it down. Find a category. Categories. What's a chunk of mail? Bills in one thing, magazines in another pile, paperwork, chunk things down into a category that makes sense to you. Now, I like to keep it simple. Like with mail, for example, any paperwork. To me, any paperwork could be two piles. To do, I need to do something, and then I've already done something. To do and to just done. Done, I did it. Did it in a minute. Okay? Notice you can chunk things down and keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate this. Okay? We're going to chunk it down. Simplify it. Also, notice when I said write this down, writing down is another thing you can do. Okay? So if you're do I just start pitching in a panic? When you're not in a panic, user 5802, what I say is this: start to chunk it down in a category of things you can start pitching is the stuff you don't want anyway. Don't get into panic mode. Don't react. Be informed by the fact that you've got to get out of there by 8:30, and start today with the stuff you know you don't want. Pitch that stuff first. Also notice the stuff that you definitely want to keep with you. Like the no-brainer. As I like to say, I always like to think of it like as a traffic signal in your body. The stuff that's the green light. Like, oh my God, no, I'm going to bring my computer with me. My phone, my toothbrush. And then you've got stuff you definitely know you don't want. So start with that. That will give you room. When people say to me, I have no place to spread out and do this, you can immediately make space in your home to declutter by simply recognizing the stuff that you definitely know you don't want. Trash, things that don't make the easy decisions. Remove that stuff first, and remove it in an easy way. Okay? Now, I notice that as I sit here and I help this set of questions in front of me, I see messages are coming up. So everything I just said, even if it wasn't directly to you, please absorb that if you want to. Just experiment with it. Here, play with this tool, play with this toy, and see if it helps you. See if you enjoy it. See if it makes you feel better. See if you have fun with it. Okay? Now I'm going to scroll, and it's going to kick me to the bottom, so I'm going to have to scroll back. Okay, there we go. Yeah, soaring butterflies, great idea. I go, Cat Mama, nice to see you. Okay, I'm going to try to back up and go in chronological order. Okay, there we go. Sentimentality, says Heather Gray Designs, is my block. I'm a sentimentalist and next person, so I know where I got you. Okay, I got you. This is a sentimental place. What I want to suggest to you, remember when I said calm down, chunk down, and all that? This is where we can now, when we're now kind of calming down and feeling better, we can get into fun strategy. So write this one down. 3 levels of clutter. Surface, stored, sentimental. Notice if you're looking at however you're watching me on TV, or excuse me, gotta get comfortable here, or on your phone or whatever. If you're not looking at the camera right now or the screen, just look for a sec, okay? And those of you who know about Surface Sentimental and Surface Stored and Sentimental, you don't need to. But notice where my hand goes. Surface is above my head. Stored is kind of middle. Consciously. Sentimental is where I put my hand down on my heart. Because sentimental stuff is the stuff that touches your heart. We're humans, we are animals, we have stories, we feel feelings. So of course you're going to have sentimentality. But Heather Gray, before we get to the sentimental, which I know jams everybody up, sentimental stuff, just so everybody knows, when you get to your sentimental items, please know that couple of things. One is, it is only a chunk of your entire clutter. It is only a chunk. But the chunk that it is going to take it's going to take you the longest amount of time to take short progress. It's going to take the most energy to make a small decision, because it involves stories and hearts and feelings. But before you even get there, I'm not saying avoid it. I'm saying that there's an order in which you do this that can make it easier. So notice where I started kind of top to bottom. Let's start with the stuff that's literally just kind of floating around on the surface. What's your surface clutter that you could work on? And knowing that when you work on your surface clutter, you're learning a better system to deal with your sentimental clutter. What if you work on your stored clutter then, and then you know that you've got your sentimental clutter, that it's informing, it's making space for, it's helping you create a process and a method of dealing with your sentimental clutter simply by dealing with the surface and the stored, and then getting to the sentimental. Okay? Vicky, so notice that. Now, Vicky is saying, Christmas decorations I don't use anymore. Now, here's an interesting thing to me. That can be, to me, this is surface clutter of the stuff that I bought at the Christmas tree shop. God rest its soul, it's closed, right? Or just the random stuff that I got, the garland and the things that I got that looked good on the surface. Or you could have Christmas items that are like, oh my gosh, there's that little fish ornament my mother bought me the first year I was born. See, even within that category, you may have surface, you may have stored, and you may have sentimental. Stored tends to deal with quantity and volume of things, but just notice this. I like showing, I call it kind of a framework. Yesterday when I was in my my kind of coaching training, they were calling it the scaffolding. There's like a framework, there's a structure behind what I do, and I love that. Because then you can have, like, I don't even know where I got this, probably my you've got a hook to hang it on. You know, the next time this happens, you're like, I know what to do now. Can think of this in 3 ways. Surface, stored, sentimental. Children's books, says Kim. Okay, children's books. Are they ones that you just got from a free library someplace? That's kind of surface. You don't have a connection, a strong connection to it. Or are they the books that my kids read, or I read to my kids when they were little, and now they're not reading them, but I have a hard time passing along? Yeah, okay. So notice when the heart is involved, and don't shy away from that. But notice you can learn a skill that helps you feel more comfortable and safe in making those decisions of the heart. So you're not panicking and pitching and struggling, that you're going through this in kind of a gentle, loving, honorable way, honoring the items that are in front of you, you know? Like these are like, I could steal these and be like, yeah, those are the plastic glasses I got in Vegas. Or they could be, you know what? These were owned by my aunt and uncle, and they brought them over on the boat from Ireland, and they wrapped them up, and they were the two nicest things that the entire family had. Notice different stories make you feel different things. But notice that you have stories about everything in your house. We're storytellers. This is how we process this crazy, crazy world, is by telling us stories. And notice that the stories you tell yourself can make yourself feel crappy, or they can make yourself feel better. And I will always go to, when you feel better, you're going to do better. So I am here to not just make you feel better. Here, listen to me. I'll make you feel better. I want to hand you the tools. Here's the tool. Here's another tool. I'm sitting in a bar cart, people. Okay, here. Hello? Is this thing on? Testing. Welcome. What is it? And now, from the elegant pump room high over Chicago, asking that musical question. Here's a tool. This makes making a cocktail easier. Here's a tool. Put it in your toolkit. Before you even put it in your toolkit, experiment with it. See if it's worth keeping. If it's worth keeping, put it in your toolkit and bring it out and use it all the time. It's like the Phillips head screwdriver, the hammer, and the pliers, and then the regular screwdriver. A lot of times people have very specific tools for very specific things, but man, can you get a lot done with some very simple tools that you used over and over again. And I'm here to help you build your toolkit so you can help yourself without relying on me. I want you to be able to trust yourself and rely on yourself, to be like, I got this. I know what to do. All right? All right. Yeah, Carol and Elle. I hear a lot of everybody. I'm sorry. I just got a text from a friend about herring. Too long to describe. And I forgot to, being a human, I was like so excited to get on TikTok Live that I forgot to put on my Do Not Disturb. Do not disturb. I hear a lot of you saying I'm exhausted. I hear you. What I will say is this. Clutter is just stuff, and it can feel so much more overwhelming when you're exhausted. So do this. Do the things to make yourself feel better physically. Deal with your exhaustion. Get yourself less exhausted. That will also then kind of put your clutter into perspective. So it won't feel like it's, I know when I'm exhausted, things feel so much worse. I had a crazy travel day on Monday. I was supposed to get to Vegas at noontime. I was woken up by a text on midnight the night before, after midnight, saying, oh, hey, guess what? Your flight is canceled. You have to rebook, but this rebook is going to be all convoluted. And I was like, screw you, Frontier, I'm going to American. Well, then American ended up being convoluted too, but then at least I got to go to the lounges, because I went to, literally, I think I was in 4 airports by the time I got to Vegas, 12 hours later than I thought. By the end of my journey, I was exhausted physically, mentally, whatever. And so I was getting a little bit like, okay, this is a bit much. I can't believe. But when I feel better, I do better. So the clutter is just stuff. It's going to be there. Don't try to deal with things when you're exhausted. Work on your exhaustion. Take time for yourself. And Carol and Elle, I see you caretaking for a family member, not in your house, so rarely home and exhausted when I get home. Take care of yourself as well as, or better than, when you're taking care of a family member. Okay? All right. Luann brings up a really good one too. Stuck on. And notice I said this. Stories. You have a story. I call them words in your head because they are. Stories are words in your head. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who went to somebody's house and they were eating porridge, but the bears were out on they were pooping in the woods, because isn't that what a bear does? I haven't read Goldilocks in a wicked long time, but you get the gist. So Luann is saying stuck. Roadblock. I am stuck. I am not moving forward on getting rid of clothes that I think, notice I said words in your head, I think I might wear these someday. You might. So, when's the last time you wore them? Again, here's the thing too. I can ask you questions. I want you to notice this too about yourself, because I do this as a coach. I do this to myself right now, and it's practice. There are words that are going to come out of my mouth that, depending upon my energy, depending upon where you are, might sound judgy, accusatory, mean, or might sound encouraging, curious, kind, loving, gentle. What the difference is, the words are going to be the same, but the intent and the energy behind them. So notice when you are talking to yourself, when I ask you this question, Luann, I want you to ask yourself this with the same kind of loving, calm, non-judgmental curiosity. So, I'm just legit curious. When was the last time you wore some of those clothes? Was it last winter? Was it 5 years ago? Notice when the last time you wore them. You can ask yourself, but even whatever you ask yourself, whenever you're talking to yourself, talk to yourself in a nice way. When you're judgy, yeah, when was the last time you wore those clothes? When was the last time you even wore those clothes? Notice, my tone changes because I'm getting judgy. Even my body language changes. How does that make you feel? To me, I would shut down. Whenever anybody judges me, I'm shutting down. It doesn't get me to do anything. I don't know, whatever. Never mind. Leave me alone. That's not how you get unstuck. There's many ways you can do this, and I'm going to trust that what I'm sharing it with you is going to help. That's me being like, oh, am I doing all the things that all my coaching, stuff is helping me with today? Okay. So you notice this. I have the thought in my head that makes me feel a feeling. I might wear those from someday, so I get a feeling of lack. What if I'm afraid of getting rid of them? Fear of removing those clothes that I might wear, because I am fearful that in the future that if I need them, they won't be there. The fear of lack. Now, that could be legit. Maybe you don't have money to buy new clothes if you wear them in the future. But here's what I want to offer to many of us, okay? Decluttering. Clutter is an abundance problem. The reason you have too much stuff is because you have so much. You don't just have you don't have none. You don't have just right. You don't have cold, just right, too hot. Soft, I'm thinking of Goldilocks. Soft, hard, just right. You don't have not enough and just right. You have too much. Clutter is too much. So the great thing is you don't have to get rid of all of your clothes that you may wear someday. Maybe just some of them. Maybe that will be just enough to be like, okay, yeah, if I lose or gain weight, I've got those clothes to kind of fall back on. Okay? I love it. Okay, people, I get doom bags of paperwork, doom bins. I'm overflowing with plastic bins. Okay, notice this, please. Containers, people. Containers. Boy, could I riff on containers. Containers contain a problem. They don't contain a solution. I just kind of made that up. I don't know if it's really, but containing the problem does not solve the problem. Putting things into a container is a short-term solution. Oh, look, it's neat and tidy. It's got corners. I've done something with my stuff by containerizing it. But if it's clutter in the container, all you've done is moved it from point A to point B. You haven't done the most important thing, which is interrupting that pattern of not making decisions about stuff. Okay? So notice these things. All right? Yeah. I love talking about this. This is why I do my one-on-one coaching, people, because I can only kind of talking about surface, stored, and sentimental on an hour-long TikTok live like this. I can only give you kind of like a little taste, an amuse-bouche, as they call it in the fancy places. Here's a taste. This is what a taste of coaching is like. Me talking to you one-on-one for a complete hour, holy fricka-moly. Is that a lot different than me having a bop from person to person? It's like, honestly, like yesterday I was in a theater with almost 500 people in it. And the people on stage, Simone Soul and Melissa Tears, if you know, you know, they could only kind of say their thing and occasionally talk to somebody because they had some info. So these group things are great. But because I want you to think of anything I'm saying to one person specifically, take that and say, what if she was talking to me directly? How can I apply that to my life? But we can only get to the surface, barely touching the surface on a TikTok live. That's why I like to go deeper. I know that the magic happens when you just kind of get out of the surface and you start wading into the pool and getting just a little bit deeper. And then knowing that there's something, as I call it, the stuff behind the stuff, the stories behind the stuff, how the stories make you feel, how those feelings make you act. Because that kind of coordination, I'm an alliterer, so here, you could write this down. Here, I'm gonna write a book. I'm just gonna have you do the actual mechanization of it. Head, heart, hands. And now I got to get your gut in there too. I'll kind of grandmother in the heart with the gut. Your head has thoughts that make you feel a feeling in your heart and in your gut. And when you feel a feeling in your heart and your gut, you're going to move your hands or you're not going to move your hands. You're going to take action. You're going to take a thing and either move it from point A to point B, or you're going to take it, or you're going to put it on a shelf to keep it, or you're going to take it and put it in a Goodwill bag. Okay? All right. So, yeah. And here's the thing, Elizabeth, I'm just kind of, see, when I go deep, I can't go to the surface all the time and answer these things. So I will now kind of paddle over to the shallow end of the pool and just the surface and kind of surface up and kind of respond to some of the things that we've got here. But notice, yes, panicky, because I know the piles of things I shouldn't have ignored. So notice yourself. Notice the panicky is because you're beating yourself up over what I shouldn't have done in the past. You know what? Beating yourself up about the past does not help you move forward in the future. If anything, it just makes you feel shitty when you're moving forward. You're going there, you're driving forward, but the person behind you, the person behind you, your backseat driver, is berating you the entire time. How does that feel? Oh, you should have done that. You should have taken that left. You know what you should have done? You should have. Quiet down that voice and say, you know what? I did the best I could. Here's a wonderful thing. Write this down. I did the best I could with what I had. I did the best I could with the skills I had, with the insight I had, with the energy I had, with the capacity for learning I had, with the time I had, with the energy I had. I did the best I could with what I had. And then, anybody here, we're all on TikTok, I'm like, anybody here on TikTok? You know, then to your backseat drivers, you lovingly say, shut the fuck up. Because when you quiet down that backseat driver and you instead say, and this is where I like to call it your co-pilot voice, and you say, you know what? I was doing the best I could with what I had. I'm your co-pilot. I'm in your passenger seat, not in the back seat like a driver. I will turn to you. Pretend you're in the car. Okay? You're in the driver's seat. I'm sitting next to you like a physical manifestation of your internal co-pilot. I turn to you and say, you know what? You are doing the best you can with what you have. Here, I feel like I'm staring at my bed right now, so maybe I'll do this. This is wicked funny. I'm just riffing here. I'm going to move my thing because it's on a rolling bar card. So you're in the you're facing that way. I'm facing this way. We're both looking out to the windshield. I'm in the co-pilot seat, and I look over to you and I say, you know what? You are doing the best you can with what you have. You are doing great. So we're going to quiet down those gabbing little kids in the back seat. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Because you're in the driver's seat right now. I'm just sitting here next to you in the passenger seat. I don't have my foot on a gas or a brake. I don't have my hands on the steering wheel. But you know what I have? I get a toolkit and a map. And because I think this is a road trip and not a commute, I've got some snacks. We're wearing comfortable clothes. We've got some tunes. We've got a full tank of gas. And we're going to have some fun. So, this is your co-pilot speaking. I'm Beth. I'm your co-pilot. I'll be back to pick you up later. Notice this stuff. Okay? There we go. This is fun. I should probably, when I go home, I'm going to be like, hun, I need to expense a bar card. Or my Boston accent would be like, I need to expense a bar card so I can move my thing around. And I'll have to put one of these guys on it. These always look like a little bear to me, doesn't it? With the little ears. Anywho, but I digress. Okay. So, yes, self first, people. Self first. I was on 4 planes. Every time they said, put your mask on before you help others. It's not so others will die and you get to breathe. No, it's because when you're breathing, you can help more people. You can help more people, but if you don't have mask on, you're trying to help somebody else, you both drown. Ooh, there's like that. I'm working on, my brain tends to go to a swimming pool sometimes. And I realize if I don't know how to swim, I can't help you swim. So learn how to swim and then you can enjoy the swimming. And when somebody else is struggling, you can go over and help them too. And then you can teach them how to swim. Okay. There we go. Kate, you went through Hurricane Beryl. Oh man, and went without power. No fun. Okay, yes. Here we go. Boop. There we go. Hey, Swanee. Swanee, how I love you. How I love you, my dear old Swanee. This is how my brain works, people. I'm like Michigan J. Frog. Oh, here. Look, this bar cart, you know. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. I'll be here all week. Table 19, your pizza is ready. Okay. Yeah, I just cracked myself up. Bonnie is mentioning, so if, those of you who don't know me or don't know like what the deal is, my name is Beth. I call my coaching destination Decluttered because I love to travel and I love to use that travel road trip metaphor to kind of as a framework behind what I do, because I want you to think of this too. Where do you want to go in your life? That's a destination you're looking forward to. I help you get there. And at the moment, speaking of travel, I am in Las Vegas, beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Bonnie was saying go to the Sphere. Oh, it's so cool. I saw the Sphere when my plane was landing. That thing is freaking massive. But I want to, if I go to that, this is just how I'm wired. I want to, and you say self first, I want to go there with my husband. I have done enough solo traveling that I want to enjoy some of these things with him while we are both together, because we're not going to be together forever. One of us is going to go before the next. So I want to enjoy as many things together with him versus me coming home and saying, oh, I did this cool thing and you weren't there. But it's a good thing. Like, I totally want to experience it because it looks crazy and awesome. I love it. Swanee, as a teacher, I know it has taken me the first half of the summer to feel rested. I am so glad you took the first half of the summer to feel rested. Okay. Yep. There we go. Okay, Luann, I love this. See, I'm just catching up on stuff now. Luann is saying, for those of you kind of following along at home, and especially when you're watching the recording of this TikTok Live when I upload it to YouTube, Luann is saying, thank you so much for your info. I agree with everything you said. I will get rid of half the stuff. And I'm glad what I'm saying is helping you. It's the only reason I show up here. It's the only reason I am even on social media is to help you. It's not to show off about my awesome life, but I will tell you my life is fucking awesome. I love it. I want you to love your life too. Okay, but that's just between us. I don't show off about all the cool stuff I do, but man, do I have an awesome life. And I want you to too. Hey, Amy in the Barcelona Hilton. I love it. 3:34 p.m. I am at it is 6:40 something in the morning. I am at the English Hotel in the Arts District of Las Vegas, Nevada. So, world travelers, love it. Getting more ideas on my vacation. Yeah, when you're on vacation, you can also declutter. You can say, wow, it feels really nice to be able to spread out and just breathe without surfaces with stuff on everything. I can decide not to buy any souvenirs. There's all sorts of things. I can look and be inspired by different places and say, I want to get that feeling in my home. Ooh, somebody's making haikus. I love it. Let's be creative, people. You know, Erin, why do I forget to check at the top of the hour? I will say this, Erin. And first of all, hey, it's nice to see you. And what I want to offer to you is I will always, I will occasionally, I will only, because this is just how I'm wired. When I get myself a destination, say, oh, I'm going to do a TikTok Live, I will 99.9% of the time start it at top of the hour. Now, as many of you know, I schedule these. I schedule a lot of TikTok Lives. If you're on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, you already know my schedule from now until the end of July, which is like in 2 weeks or so. But sometimes they do these pop-ups. They're not scheduled, but when they're not scheduled, just know this about me, is I will show up at the top of the hour or possibly like the bottom of the hour, like 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. I will rarely show up just at a random time, you know? So if you want to tune in to the radio to hear your favorite song, And it's, what I sing is your favorite song. Hey there, Georgie girl. You can show up at top of the hour or bottom of the hour, and within a 2-minute window of that, I will either show up or not. But when I'm scheduled, I totally show up when I say I'm going to. There we go. Oh, funny, Swanee. That's so random. You just ate at the Pepper Club last week. Get the yummy waffle. Somebody yesterday, I was at the bar for dinner. I didn't get the waffle. I got these things called the Taco Bells, these little tiny tacos, And I saw somebody next to me had the matcha waffle with the Japanese fried chicken. Yes, JFC. Right. So funny. Yes, Bonnie Esther, photos on the cell phone, cheap and free and clutter-free souvenirs. Testify. I love it. I love that you were here. Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm semi-dorky. Bonnie Esther, I am full-on dork mode. It's fine. It's so much freeing. I was never cool in school. I'm sure you don't remember me. But I have fun. And I think we all are kind of geeky and dorky inside. And if you're just too cool for school, I'm probably not the coach for you. But that's fine. You know what? I'm on fire today. You know why? Because I've got this bar cart of stuff to play with. But I also am lit up because I'm here getting some training to become a better coach. Getting some reinforcement that what I'm doing is working, so how can I continue to do that? And I only do this because I am so Michigan J. Frog. I am. Here we go. All right, I'm doing the best I can with what I have. Yeah. Baker Mama. And your only baby steps, I'm doing the best with what I have. Seriously, I've gotten this far in coaching in life, doing what I am doing with my stuff. I look forward. Notice what we use. I look forward. I look ahead. I look forward to becoming even a better coach, to helping even more people, to helping even, not maybe the quantity of people, but the depth of what I do. I look forward to a lot of fun stuff. What are you looking for? Okay. There we go. Bonnie Esther, I'm glad I'm helping you out here. All right, what do we got? Yes, the French toast. Okay, there is a waffle here. I didn't know there was one. Oh, the Pepper Mill. Okay, no, here's a funny thing. The Pepper Mill. I've been to the Pepper Club is here. The Pepper Mill is the other kind of amazing thing. When we were here 2 years ago to see Barry Manilow. It was a Copacabana. I was like, what's a Barry song? I could sing. I could spend the next 13 minutes singing Barry Manilow songs for you, but you don't want to hear that. We went to the Pepper Mill. The Pepper Mill. So when I used to write books about vintage cool places, the Pepper Mill was on my list to cover for Retro Roadmap. It is one of the remaining kind of funky looking old timey places that has not been knocked down and built up. But I love this. Yeah. You are so related to me, and I am for sure dorky. Always loved you breaking out into song. You know what? My dad used to do it. It's a way of connecting. Think about it. We all know, many of us know these songs. When I sing a song and you sing a song, we're singing a song together, and it gives us a connection. It means I know Georgie Girl and I know Michigan J. Frog. You know Georgie Girl and Michigan J. Frog. Look, we have something in common. If you don't know those, somebody's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's okay. Move along. Move it on over. But connection, community, hanging out with the dorky, fun people who have music. I met my husband. Talk about a dorky music connection. And I say this with love. I met my husband at a power pop music festival in 1998. Talk about people who had something in common and then gathered. I am, and I don't want to call the people at the conference that I'm at dorky at all, because they maybe not be, but I don't mind calling myself dorky. I am now surrounded by 500 people learning to be a better coach here in Vegas. And it is wonderful to hang around with people that you feel comfortable with, that you have a connection to. We all are right here because we have a connection called clutter. And I love sharing what I have learned to get me out of clutter and staying that way. And it helps in other areas of your life. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, schmaltzy dads. Schmaltz. You know what schmaltz is? Chicken fat. I love schmaltz. Yeah, there we go. I spontaneously sing, and so does my dad, too. My whole family does. I joke, but I'm serious. We are not an athletic family at all. I look around my family, and we are all built a certain way. We are soft. We are not athletic. At least my generation. My nieces and nephews, different. However, I joke that Name That Tune, remember that show on TV? Name That Tune is like my family's favorite sport. It is the way we're wired. And music makes the people come together as, was it Chopin or Madonna who once opined? So having a connection with people, feeling connected makes you feel less alone. And I want to say this, you're not alone in struggling with your clutter. You may feel like you're the only person and you're dirty and ashamed, dirty and ashamed. I don't want anybody to see this. Oh my God, you guys. Look at how many followers I have on TikTok. I don't say that to show off, but I've got almost 32,000. Think of 32,000 people, and that's just a drip, drop, drip in the bucket, in the ice bucket. So many people struggle with clutter. You're not alone. But the cool thing is, I want to say, you can do something about it, and I'm here to help you. I just felt like I got kind of wild-eyed and but it's true. It's true. I freaking love it. I would not show up if this was not fun for me, people, trust me. I have worked in enough boring jobs and got paid money for it that I'm at the time right now, like, if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. But I know there are certain things you need to do to live better. So I also am like, let's have fun while we're doing this. Why not put on the radio when you're decluttering? Why not put on the TV? Put on some music. Put on your hot light. You know? Make it fun. Chunk it down. Make it doable. Well, you know what? I can do this for 5 minutes. Put on your timer. You know? Putting on the Ritz. Right, exactly. I can name that tune in 3 notes. All right, Amy. Name that tune. There we go. Oh my gosh, I love it. Bonnie Esther met my hubby at a foreigner Christmas party. He played bossa nova songs, but I had sing-alongs. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a great, my husband's a songwriter. He played bossa nova songs, but I had sing-alongs. Sounds like you're writing a lovely love story, a love song about your courtship. I love it. And now I think courtship, and then I think courtship of Eddie's father, and I think of the theme song to that, which was written by Harry Nilsson. People, let me tell you about my best friend. You know? All right, Barbara Dean is working hard at decluttering with you in my earpods and love it. Okay, so here, notice this. Working hard. How about playing fun? Having fun decluttering. Notice I changed a couple of words there. It's not changing what you do, but maybe it changes how you're doing it, how you're feeling when you're doing it. I like to have fun and get the clutter done. And then done, and I say once and for all, but I mean it this way, because this is how I want you to think of it. Decluttering is kind of 2 parts. One of it is taking the pile of clutter and knocking down, notice all the downs from earlier, knocking down the volume of it. I had 1,000 things in my house, now I only have 250 things. So that's part of it. That's usually where people think decluttering stops. No. When you're with me, what you realize is when you are knocking down, when you are reducing those things, first of all, you're working at a pace that feels good to you. But also, you're not just doing it willy-nilly, like, blah, 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 blah. No. We're doing it mindfully at a pace that feels good, and you're noticing what you did to get that stuff in your life, and you're noticing what you're doing to get it out of there, and you're changing your habits along the way so that the clutter does not pile up again. You know? Yeah, oh my gosh, having fun while decluttering. That's what I'm all about. Steph, if you've never heard about having fun getting decluttering, come along to my way of thinking. Okay? This is what I do. Yeah, easier. Easier. Oh, you said the word I love, easy. Easier to handle and use. Yeah. Enjoyment over burden. Martyrdom is rather ugly and powerless. Hell yeah. Oh. I'm a victim of clutter. I'm struggling with clutter. And I say this seriously as a freaking cartoon. But seriously, that's your backseat drivers. Anytime you're getting dramatic, but no, you don't understand. This is your backseat driver just being a little bit Sandra Bernhardy. Is it Sarah? Sandra? Sarah. Okay? So, notice this. Martyrdom is ugly, but powerless. How about this? Okay. I hear you. You don't feel good. I don't feel good. I'm exhausted. I'm not making fun of anybody. Okay. This is me, your loving co-pilot. Where's my little thing? I'm on this. This is your co-pilot speaking. You can do something about that. So do it. You can do something about it. It's up to you whether you choose to or not. Now, Anna, this is an interesting. My husband is the real victim of my clutter, right? But you are too. Now, I'm not saying your husband isn't, but you're a victim too. Because now you are looking at, you're feeling bad that you're making your husband a victim. So how about the two of you, like two mints in one? How about you do something so you feel better, and then it will also have that ripple effect of being better for your husband. But start with you. It's wonderful, trust me, it is wonderful to do things for other people. Taking care of business, taking care of other people is wonderful. But when you take care of yourself first, when you do things for yourself first, it is not greedy. It is not selfish. It is selfless, because when you do it for yourself, you learn how to do things, and you can do it for yourself and, conjunction junction people, and button or, they'll get you pretty far. And you can help other people, and you can better help. When you feel better, you can better yourself, you can help yourself feel better, and you can help other people. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Yep, self-awareness and love. Self-awareness and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. That's all I'm thinking of is peace and love. Okay? And I love this. Somebody else said it too. User 3429 says, it took me some time, but I finally went through a box of my father's stuff yesterday, and cue the Chuck Mangione. It felt so good. Ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 ba. It feels so good when you do the thing that you had been waiting to do. Now, sometimes there are things you could have done earlier, and other times it has to feel like the right time. Okay, you can't do it for yourself? Yes, you can. You just have a thought that says, I can't do it for myself. Or maybe you just haven't learned how to do it for yourself. I can teach you. Hang out here with me. I mean, granted, right now, literally, I have 4 minutes, and then I'm off for a day of coaching and training and stuff. But there are plenty of TikTok videos here. Learn everything of this stuff. I teach it from a self-centered, in a way that isn't the bad way. It is centered on yourself, because then it can radiate out. Notice when you say, I can't, you don't. I can't do that, so I don't do it. But if you say, hey, I can do it, I can experiment, I can play, I can entertain the notion of doing it for myself and see what that would be like. I have clients who are, in a partnership and married and things with other people, and they say they notice that it feels better with the other person. This is so great. I will share with you. I think I told you guys earlier that I forgot to shut off my messages. I literally just got a TikTok message, or excuse me, a text from a friend that I've known since junior high, who is showing me her decluttering journey. She and her husband moved all of the stuff out of their house that they've lived in for, 30 plus years, and they refinished the floors, and now they're moving stuff back in, and they're doing it with intention because she has learned from me. She is only getting the house she wants because I am doing what I'm doing, and I'm sharing my knowledge with her, and it feels good to her. Notice these things. You just found me, Anna? Well, now you found me. Once you have found her, never let her go. Some enchanted evening. I've got a wicked lot of stuff here. Seriously. Not just these lives. I've got my lives recorded. They are on YouTube. Destination Decluttered on YouTube. A wicked lot of videos here on TikTok. Like my TikTok page, because if I do a pop-up live, you'll get notified of it. You try, so do it. Show up more. Terry, finally, again, the finallys, people. Finally, it's happened to me. I finally let go of my wedding dress after years of hanging in the closet, and Terry's doing the happy dance. Notice the pattern here, people. Notice if you went through all these things, when you hear somebody post about they finally dealt with something that was bugging them clutter-wise, after they have done the thing that they were avoiding, they are always coming back and saying it feels so good to get rid of it, to let go. There we go. I love this stuff, okay? I love this stuff, people. And you must do it for yourself. This is how I coach. If you don't want to, here's a great thing, people. If you don't want to do it for yourself, there are so many other people out there who are going to say, here, just buy my clear box. Here, just do this. Here, just do all this stuff on the outside. Buy more things. Now, I pay for, you pay me, if you do one-on-one coaching, You do pay me. But I give you in turn a set of skills, not a set of boxes or containers that get, plastic stuff. I share with you, we build together a set of skills that you will have for the rest of your life, that you can then share with other people. Cue the Fabergé organic shampoo commercial. Okay? So notice this. If you don't want to do what I'm doing, that's fine. Move along. There's plenty of other people, but this is what I do, and this is how I do it, and I love it, and it's fun, and I see these people showing up. Anna, meet Bonnie, Esther, and Carla. It's so nice to see you. Yeah, okay, it's a huge pile of shopping. It's stifling. Notice, if you're feeling stifled, stifle yourself, Edith. Take some breathing. And Anna, shopping. How about chunking down that huge shopping by 10 items today? That's it. Yes, transferable skills. Copy and paste it. Such good stuff. Now, speaking of copy and pasting and transferring, I have to transfer. I have to transform out of my pajamas into some clothes so I can get outside, and I got to get outside before it turns into 106 degrees. I'm going to go find myself an iced tea, a little something for breakfast. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to take an Uber down to the crazy parts of Vegas and immerse myself in this wonderful coaching, because I invest my money and time in making my life better. And then it has that, as I like to say, that positive ripple effect. What I learn, the more I learn, the more I can share it with you. That's why I pay for my time together. All right, there we go. Hey, Chatty Cathy. Oh, there we go. Dead Forever. Yes, Bonnie Dugas. See, I'm not a deadhead, but I will go there with my husband. Do not worry. It looks wicked cool. Okay, there we go. Jen Josto. Jen is heading to Hawaii and wondering where you stayed. Wicked quick. I'll take a minute. On Maui, we stayed at a couple of Hyatts, basically because we got them free for points. And then I indulged. That's totally my word, in staying at the Sheraton Waikiki in Honolulu, because that's where the Brady Bunch stayed. Okay. All right, you guys, I have to scoot. This has been so much fun for me. I hope it's been fun for you. If it has been, I am Beth, Destination Decluttered. Now that I've changed my little avatar here, you know what I look like. So this is who I am. I'm here to help you. Let's have some fun and get this clutter done, okay? I will see you the next time I do a TikTok Live, whenever that is, okay? Bye. I'm like, bye. Yeah, and I'm looking at my chin. There we go. Look, I just lost 10. I can't hit the button. There we go. End live. Viewers are currently watching. They are. Yes, I have to end the live because I got stuff to do. TikTok. Okay. All right, you guys.